Hello everyone. As you all know that Java 25 is going to release on 16th of September 2025, and there is one feature which is being discussed most is that the header size of an Java object is going to be reduced to 8 byte. So the question is that how can we by our own see the size of Java objects header? So let me open IntelliJ. There we will use a moment dependency called as JOL, which is nothing but a Java object layout. So I have just opened that. So here is the dependency. This is JOL core. The latest version what is available is 0.17. I just created a Maven project, and inside the Maven project I have a POM where I just added that as a dependency. What I have done with the help of this dependency, we can see that what is the size of an object basically. So but before I go into that, let's see that the Java virtual machines what we are using, what is the details of that. So I just executed the program, you see here. So it is saying that the VM is of 64 bits, and there are a few other warnings and other details. For now we'll skip that, we'll come here. So we are saying that if you see here, the references in this particular virtual machine would take 4 bytes, boolean will take 1 byte, byte 1, character 2, short 2, integer 4, float 4, long 8, and double also 8. So this is generally what we study, right? References would also take 4 bytes. So if you want to see the basic details of a virtual machine in any of your application, or maybe if you're running your application, during that point of time, you can simply just use that class vm.current.details. With the help of that, you'll be able to get that details. But this particular video is more about that, how to get the size of an object. So we'll start from here. So what I have done, I have created a class employee. And there is one question which I usually also ask to all my students, that suppose I have created an empty class, what would be the default memory which would be allocated to the object of this class. So let me do that. What I'll do, I'll create object of an employee class. You see here, I'll just show you. This particular class does not have anything. So now we'll see that how much memory is getting allocated to this particular object. So, and then we will understand that this what this object header is and all about. So I'm just what I'm going to do, I'll be class. So there is a class called as class layout dot parse class. So there are two things which we could do. We could see the how much memory would be allocated when you create the object of that class. That is one way. But in this case, we are going to see that how much memory actually has been allocated to an instance. So I just create, you see here. So this is the employee, you see. So what I did, I just use that class layout, which is part of our OpenJDK JOL info package, and I just call parse instance, and I pass the instance of this class. So we'll see that what details we get here. You see here, it is saying that the size of this particular employee object is of 16. So basically 16 byte of memory has been allocated to this object. I'll just make it printable so that the details are more. You see here. So I created the object of employee class. I used class layout dot parse instance emp. I just called to printable so that it is being displayed in an appropriate manner. So if you see here, so you are seeing couple of columns: offset, then the size, then type description, and then the value. If you see here, so what object we are talking about? The object of an employee class. So what it is, though it is what we have not kept any of the field inside this particular class. If you see here, there is no field. But still, if you see that the total size of that instance which we created is of 16 byte. You must be wondering that where that 16 byte is going. So now let us go and understand this each row in a detail. So if you see here, assume that this particular memory location is going to start from 0. So first 8 byte is going to header, next 4 byte is also going to header. So in a combination of these two, basically 12 byte is going to the header. Java 25, this object header size would get reduced to 8 from the 12. So before Java 25, you will see that the header size would always be 12. And in Java 20, after the header size will get reduced to 8 byte. But there must be one more question in your mind, that why then this 16 byte of total memory location has happened. So generally what happens in virtual machine, the total memory location would be happening in the distribution of 8. So it could be either 8 or 16 or 24. So basically the memory would always be the division of 8. So in this case, we do not have any of the fields defined inside the employee class. So 12 byte would be anyway needed for object header. So 4 byte just to align that gap. So basically it's of no use, but still the total memory would be allocated of 16 byte. Assume if it would have been Java 25, then what would happen? Only 8 byte of memory would be allocated, and in a way that you are going to save 8 byte of memory in Java 25. Now we'll create one variable inside that. So let's see that we are creating a long variable. As of now, I'm not giving any value. So now this is not an empty class. Now it is a class which is having one field. Let's see that. What would be the size now? Running it. You see here. So again, 12 byte goes to header. 4 byte has again for the padding and alignment. That's what this is the wastage of 4 byte, and then the 8 byte is what our long variables required. So total 24 byte memory has been allocated inside the heap. You see here the details, space losses. It is saying that 4 byte space losses has happened. What is that space loss? Basically this one. So because we are, next question would be that what if I change this to int? Then everything would suffice within the 16 bytes. You see here. So now there is no wastage because integer would need only 4 byte, and after header it was anyway going to create the 16 byte, but it saw that there is only one field which is of 4 byte. So within the 16 byte, one field and the object header would be settled. So this is a brief about how to check the size of an object. There are few important things here, like the object header is having mark, object header is having class. What this all about, maybe I'll talk about this in my next video. Thanks for watching this video. Thank you.